3 stars were given to casual readers, romantasy fans who skimmed the Shire and said meh. 2 stars to those who hated trees, poetry, and Tom Bombadil's stupid little hat. 1 star was gifted to the dark lords of Goodreads, who walk among us. In the land of unhinged takes, in the fire of Goodreads, the 1-star reviews were forged. Reviews so cursed, not even Gandalf could save them. Today we descend into the shadows to read the absolute worst takes on the Fellowship of the Ring. Buckle up, because it's a long walk. Hold on, let me put on my smart guy glasses so I look like I know what I'm talking about. There we go. This man is a scholar who edits books and knows ball. This man, fishes and gets free glasses from the VA. Welcome back to Orbiting the Shelf, where today I am diving into the trenches of Goodreads once again to bring to you some of the worst takes you've ever heard from the greatest minds from the farthest corners of the internet. Have you read Lord of the Rings? Probably not. Nobody has actually read Lord of the Rings. They just watched the movies and Googled all of the in-depth lore snippets and saw TikToks from people who have read it, and then we tell other people we've read it. And then we own 3 or 4 copies of Lord of the Rings special editions that come out once every year, and it makes us feel smart. And so when somebody asks you, what are your top 10 fantasy books? You always put the Lord of the Rings in there, because it's like The Godfather. You'll be judged if you don't do it. Oh, what's your favorite book, sir? Oh, quick, scramble, they're gonna know I'm not an intellectual. My favorite fantasy authors are Joe Abercrombie, Brandon Sanderson, J.R.R. Tolkien, George Martin, and the guy who wrote The Wheel of Time. I definitely know his name and I've definitely read all 30 books. But in reality, your actual favorite fantasy book is Legends and Lattes or My Ogre Husband. Shameless self-promotion to my other video. Anyways, let's dive right into the reviews. And I think I need to steel myself a little bit more before we get into this. It's past 10 a.m. when I'm recording this, I promise. Alright, Soligdin says, 1 star, ancient, non-governmental organization conspires to commit perhaps the ultimate act of terrorism in world literature by setting up a cosmopolitan team to destroy the primary resource of the predominant sovereignty in the setting. Which team includes 4 barefoot ragamuffins with a taste for the sweet leaf, 4 worthless aristocratic sons placed therein as nepotistic favors, and a pious graybeard who gets ganked in his first fight. Soligdin is if Fox News was a thing in Middle-earth. Look here, you barefoot pipeweed smoking ragamuffin. Ragamuffin. The Dark Lord's out here creating jobs. The Dark Lord is the only reason you're able to afford the mortgage on your little dirt hut in the hill. It's trickle-down economics. What the Dark Lord makes trickles down to the Shire, alright? You need to stop being ungrateful, libtard hobbits. Breaking news, I'm being told the hobbits are on their way to destroy the Ring of Power in Mordor. Look, destroying Mordor and the Ring of Power is terrorism, plain and simple. These hobbits are a detriment to the sanctity of the institutions of Middle-earth. Then there's just a bunch of really old geriatric hobbits in the corner yeah, that's right, Dark Lord 2028. Give the Dark Lord a 3rd term. I don't want the ring, I don't want it, but I want it so bad. I haven't even thought about it, but I've thought about it a lot. A lot of people are telling me I should have it. Frankly, I would do great things. I would do great things with the Ring of Power. Shout out to the guy on TikTok who makes those videos. Literally one of my favorite TikToks of all time. And then there's a lot of comments on it, obviously. Bridget E says, this review is a joke, right? Please tell me this is a joke. And Soligdin replies, don't know. If a small cell of radicals knocked down 2 of your towers, what would you call it? A small cell of radicals. Literally and figuratively.
Lyle, wake up! You gotta wake up, please!
Lyle, turn on the TV! They hit the Pentagon! They hit the fucking Pentagon!
The next one, Hesper, says, first off, I should admit that I am Hobbit intolerant. I can't explain why, but that feels like real world racist. I can't stand those little suckers. Their gross feet and their obnoxiously idyllic Shire, they are romanticized, hairy-footed little people, best described as simple-minded, reactionary caricatures. The elves are not much better, with their magicalness and aloofness, but at least they don't have gross feet. This dude is really keyed in on the feet. Something tells me Quentin Tarantino is his favorite director. They're just bigots. An interesting trade-off, no? Then there are all those epic man-dudes doing long-winded, yet epic man-dude things at an excruciating pace, which Tolkien obviously mistook for a mythic feel and epic scale, a mistake that instills in me raging and irrational desire to resurrect the author for the sole purpose of beating him back into the grave with his magnum opus. I am not going to talk about Gandalf. Gandalf is better in the movies because Sir Ian. It's no good, quite frankly. The Shire is not sending us their best. 20 gajillion more dollars to Mordor. They're doing us a favor, quite frankly. They're getting rid of the freaky little hobbits in the Shire and reinstating the sanctity of the realms of men, quite frankly. Yeah, this just in. Breaking news, everybody. If you don't support the newest aid package to Mordor, you're anti-orc. Anyways, Rico 1 star says, never again will I read another J.R.R. Tolkien book. This was the second worst book I have ever read, surpassed only by The Scarlet Letter. This man f***ing hates the classics. Tom Bombadil. Fuck Tom Bombadil. And the horse he rode in on. Here's a plot hole for you. I have this wicked ring that does the same wicked stuff to everyone. We need to destroy it. It's way hard to do this, and it's going to rock the ring bearer's shit if he does this. Or we can give it to Tom fucking Bombadil and let him destroy it. As it has no effect on his stupid ADHD having moronic brain. But no, we'll choose to create an epic story despite this. Horrible. Did I enjoy it? No. Would I recommend it? Only to an enemy. Something, why didn't Gandalf fly the ring to Mordor on the eagles? I don't know, dude, because it's like a biblical allegory and like the whole story is about the pilgrimage. Granted, I think if J.R.R. Tolkien existed in the modern day, an editor would have been like, what is all this Tom Bombadil shit about? Cut this out. Why are there 30 poems a chapter? Axe. Rico's onto something a little bit. Tolkien did have just a lot of random like what if nonsense in those books. But this man is so angry you would think Tom Bombadil like robbed him at sword point. And then he goes and uses therapy speak to like diagnose him with ADHD. From book review to bar fight. I'd only recommend this to an enemy is going to be my newest series. So far I've got When the Wolf Comes Home and Age of Scorpius. And then below it there's a comment from Eduardo who goes on to say there's a lore explanation for Tom Bombadil not taking the ring and that it's because his ADHD will keep him from like remembering what he's doing and that Sauron would just go stronger and stronger until Tom was the last man on earth and had to do something about it. There's a lot of lore explanations I hear from people that aren't grounded in lore whatsoever. So if Tom Bombadil not being able to carry the ring because the Council of Elrond says he has ADHD and isn't capable of it, let me know because that sounds like a sack of shit. When reading classic fantasy, it's imperative to understand that genre norms and editors weren't really a thing back then. Authors just had to write pretty and be creative, and there was no starting point for them. The only starting point for fantasy back then were like fairy tales and folk myths and like stories told to you by your parents and whatever you could find. It's like how classic sci-fi readers had to just like make up the craziest sounding shit you've ever heard to explain faster than light travel because physics hadn't caught up with their imaginations yet. They were just like, they use the conifax machine to jump to star. And you're like, what the f is a conifax machine? And they never explain it. That's kind of what it's like reading classic fantasy. You're like, well, why didn't the fucking birds just fly the ring? And they're like, I don't know. What would Jesus do? Jesus would make the hobbits carry the ring. That's why. It's a journey about personal growth and heroism. shut up. And then Johnny, plain and simple, people f***ing hate hobbits. What's wrong with you guys? I love hobbits. Could you imagine just like smoking pipe weed and eating sausages all day barefoot in like a Windows 98 background? That would be awesome. I would love to live in insulated dirt cottages. You guys have no culture, man. Fuck you. Goddamn new generation of romantasy readers talking shit about hobbits. Go read another book about the Fae, you unoriginal f***er. Anyways, Johnny says, I fucking hate hobbits, and I also fucking hate Gandalf. Why? They walk and walk and walk some more, and nothing happens. It's a pilgrimage. What do you do? You can't drive on your pilgrimage. Forgive me, Father. I have sinned. I've committed all of these sins. What should I do? Take a pilgrimage to the chapel upon the hill, barefoot. Understandable, Father. Can I drive? No, you can't f***ing drive. It's your pilgrimage. Johnny was hoping for, like, Lord of the Rings, the Shire Drift. I ain't got a fellowship. I've got family. And then just a montage of Frodo shifting way more times than the car has gears. I've never met somebody so personally offended by cardio, aside from me. In jumping universes, we've got Voldemort here, or Voldemort, excuse me. I never read Harry Potter because I grew up in like a strict Christian household, and that was witchcraft, but I was allowed to read Narnia and Lord of the Rings. The Hobbit who lived, come to die. I mean, it could even... As a single lady myself, how does Voldemort talk? He has like a stuffy nose kind of situation, huh? As a single lady myself, I also love to put a ring on it. And shout out to my homegirl Sauron. You go, girl. Take over Middle-earth. Reach for the stars. With that Balrog on your side, you can do anything. That main dude Frodo, though, reminds me of that boy Harry. Besides, what does he need a ring for? Anyways, I gotta give it a low rating, cause there's too much Frodo, not enough orcs. This comment couldn't have come at a better time. I have a killer book recommendation for this reviewer. My Husband the Orc. You're a single lady who wishes there were way fewer hobbits and way more orcs? I got you, sis. Oh boy, do I have a book for you. Hashtag Hot Girl Summer in Mordor. Also, more orcs? What do you mean more orcs? Did the Uruk-hai go on like a f***ing union strike? This review reads like a crazy ex-girlfriend who had 2 Four Locos and decided that her hobbit boyfriend was the problem. It's not all hobbits, but it's always hobbits. Hashtag only orcs for me. I am orc sexual. My pronouns are Uruk-hai. And then we got a review in German here from Bettina K. Punkitz, who says, Nicked mein Welt, which I looked up before this video, and it means not my world, or essentially mid in German.
No, little German boy, don't go to Goodreads. Oh mein Gott, the Fellowship of the Ring is a bunch of bullscheisse.
These hairy-footed libertarians in suspenders do not speak for me. Oh my goodness. Anyways, that's enough for me. I'm 2 Coors deep. I can't take the pain anymore. It's getting into my soul. I need to go rewatch the Peter Jackson trilogy and like maybe the Hobbit movies. I don't know. There didn't need to be 3 of them, right? Am I crazy? Reading these reviews is truly like being exposed to radiation. My body can only take so much before I gotta go detox. Anyways, thank you if you've made it through the whole video. I appreciate you so much. As always, I've been Matt, you've been great, and I will see you next time. Bye.